I don't know what's going on with Robert Baker, but he was in a tussle in the Argo huddle, was pulled and just took a shot at Noel Prefontaine.
Sure did.
Unbelievable. Well, they call him the toughest receiver in the league. And have you ever seen this? Have you ever been involved in a scrap like this on your own team?
In training camp. In training camp, but not once the regular season starts. Now, I have seen many times when a player has started to talk too much, or he's talking to the opponents, or maybe yelling at an official, I've seen a veteran step in and try and break it up. Now, Andre Talbot tries to get Baker out of there, and he's talking to the official. Now, I've seen this a bunch. Just trying to calm down a teammate. John Avery says, use your head. Now he's losing it. Now Baker's getting upset, and he's going to get pulled off the field, and that's when it gets really exciting.
Now Allen throws into the end zone. Tony Miles has the catch. Touchdown, Toronto.
And here's what happened just prior to that touchdown. Baker gets pulled off. Now he goes over, and Prefontaine wants to tell him to calm down, and then things get pretty heated over there. In fact, Baker gave Prefontaine a shot to the mouth, and he was actually bleeding when he came out to kick off.
Well, a team that is noted for its togetherness, and that was the theme of a Grey Cup championship, so it is rather startling to see this on that sidelines. Got an injured Argo on the field. We'll take a timeout and be right back to McMahon. Kent Austin cooling down Baker on the sidelines. Jeff Johnson was shaken up on the kickoff. He's all right. Aaron Brooks, the athletic therapist, helping him to the sidelines.
One more time on this fight on the sideline, and you mentioned it, Chris. I've seen it a bunch in training camp. Happens all the time. And Prefontaine's trying to calm him down, and I'm not sure what was said, but there's the left hook. And Prefontaine was bleeding after that shot, and they're still trying to calm each other down over there. And Ken Austin's got involved now, the offensive coordinator.
That kind of reaction. Here's Reynolds powering his way for a first down and a lot more. You'd expect it to be 14-0 Calgary.
Yeah, well, obviously Robert Baker did not want to be taken off the field. He felt that he had composed himself and was fine with it. And Mike Clements felt differently. And then Prefontaine, being a veteran, wanted to remind Baker that, you know, team first and your individual problems with the officials second.
Take a shot like that, you might be in line for Glenn's Gladiator.
We've got to start with the incident, and we'll start with the legal representation on the panel here, just in case there's any lawsuits developing. Really, that happens very rarely in public like that during a game.
Look at you guys.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jack.
I'm not thinking anybody needs a lawyer quite yet, but, you know, this is something that you just don't see very often. Yes, there have been incidents where you've seen people argue in the sideline with an outright punch, and I just want to go back and have another look at this and see if we can figure out what happened. Shortly before this, Robert Baker took a punch at a guy on a Calgary team, but was not penalized for it. What's interesting to me about this is how Prefontaine actually seems to initiate this altercation. He takes a left cross right there as a result of it, and this is just something that's going to make Pinball Clemens sick, because he is a guy who prides himself on being able to bring a football team together. He does it exceptionally well, and he is going to be heartsick over watching this play itself out on national.
With Pinball Clemens at halftime, an 11-point lead and a kicker with a fat lip.
You know, with the game, we having discipline challenges, and even on our own sideline, one of our guys had a guy spit in his face, and that's something that you don't want to see happen in the game, so he was visibly upset about that. But you know, this is about playing good football, and that's what we want to go do the second half.
So 2nd and 15. Allen with protection, looks to the end zone, looking for Baker. Touchdown, Robert Baker. The 350th touchdown pass of Damon Allen's distinguished career as the Argos widen their lead.
Well, this is a matchup that Damon Allen will go to every time. He catches Robert Baker in a one-on-one with George White, the linebacker. Now, White is fast. In fact, White may be one of the fastest Calgary Stampeders, but you get him in that back pedal, and you get the matchup you want with a receiver.
And some words from the coach. So Baker's night has covered the full spectrum.
Sure has, and I'm not sure.
Prefontaine converting the Baker touchdown. 21-3, Argos. Well, it's like a family, and sometimes tempers boil over, but then things get back to normal. And for Robert Baker, that means a touchdown catch from Damon Allen. Argos with a 21-3 lead. Ronnie Jenkins flags down, and Jenkins taken down. Chuck Walsh in on the tackle at the 30. Let's take another look at the Baker touchdown.
It's going to be to the left of your screen. Baker just gets a little separation as the ball arrives from George White. Cutting across. Now, when he walked off, there was some discussions with some of the players, and then he threw the football in, and I looked like Kent Austin turned and said another thing, and then Mike Clements went over to talk to him one more time.
Well, if anybody can diffuse things on that sidelines, obviously the head coach, Michael Clements, would be able to do that. Apparently Mr. Baker still not enamored with the way the evening is unfolded.
Going through a little bit of an emotional roller coaster over there is Robert Baker.
The Stampeders need a little fire right now. Jermaine Copeland has been relatively quiet so far tonight.
Well, you know, though, and just to allude to this one more time, I mean, what's gone on that Argos sideline right now for a lot of teams could pull it apart in a hurry. You know, this is a veteran organization led by a guy who's been through many, many battles in Mike Clemens. And somehow through all of what we've seen on that sideline, they have a 21-3 lead and keep rolling along.
2nd and 8. Burris drops it off. Reynolds can't beat Winter. He does evade Winters, lunging ahead, but he'll be short of the first down as we join Heath Brown on the Argos sideline.
Thanks, Chris. Things are very tense down here on the east side of McMahon Stadium. Pinball Clements has been over to talk to Robert Baker 3 separate times, and although he's receiving a lot of encouragement from his offensive teammates with slaps on the back and pats on the head, Robert Baker still really hasn't cracked a smile. He was being booed and heckled mercilessly by the fans here in Calgary and threw that touchdown ball back onto the field before the extra point could be kicked, so Robert Baker is certainly not very happy.
Pinball alluded in the interview at halftime that there had been a spitting incident on the field, and this is one of the areas the league was going to crack down on, that any spitting infraction would involve immediate ejection. Somehow that was not detected, and Baker's let it get to him.
Now, when Michael Palmer came in early in the game, he came in for Robert Baker.
And Baker was not in the offensive set on that play. It doesn't necessarily mean he's riding the pine.
No, but it
raises some questions.
It raises some questions, and I wonder what Mike Clements said to him over there. Maybe just take a series off to calm down and relax and get your head together.
Argos will scrimmage from the 35. Robert Baker back into the offense. And we haven't seen much of him since his touchdown. And it's the difference in the game now. R.J. Sourden catch.
Well,
and he's wrestled down by Joey Bose.
This is such a bigger story now than it was when the Argos had a big lead in this football game, because it's been a tough emotional roller coaster for Robert Baker. He got into a pushing match with Calgary, then with his own teammates, and with Noel Prefontaine on the sideline. Then he catches a touchdown pass, threw the ball out on the field, got in trouble with the coaching staff again, didn't return for a couple of series, all of a sudden it's a football game, and they've missed Robert Baker in the lineup.